Any questions from the audience? I've got one. How are the rest of the members on the panel dealing with IPv6 and just the move to it? I know we heard at least one presentation, but is it becoming an issue for your?
I mean, it's easy. It's the same switch, same everything. You're just adding an octet, and it's easy. We support it. We you know, the V6 traffic's not big yet, but it's becoming necessary because some entities, especially the government, are mandating that everybody has to be V6 enabled. So people start, you know, doing it. And what's very interesting is we have the biggest tier ones putting V6 traffic on our switches when they normally never appear on a switch, or only in very specialized situations. They're throwing V6 traffic out there. So AT&T, Sprint, guys who would never ever be on varying switches. So it's kind of interesting.
With respect to others, we have been allowing V6 traffic over the main pairing lands at the very beginning, and as for many other things, we have been the evangelist of new technologies to get out Italy historically, so we will do the same as well for IPv6, pushing people to consider it, then use it properly and stuff like that, and following specifications.
It seems like a lot of people I talk with say that the traffic is not that great on IPv6. So I'm just wondering, are people waiting? Are they procrastinating? Are they know they have to do it and they're just?
It's really simple, isn't it? You know, how many million downstream eyeballs, you know, and then you end up multiplying. You have a cross product of how many eyeballs are there, how many sites, and it's ramping up. But it's one of those ones where, you know, this is the beginning of an S-curve, right? If you look at, there's some statistics that show things ramping up, but you know, you end up with this thing of if you don't have that many eyeballs, you know, then it's getting there. But the thing is the other component, actually, to answer the exchange question you had a moment ago, though, is the biggest thing that we encounter with peers that are getting used to V6, that's an operational thing involving exchange points, is they don't know their IPv6 exchange point address. So we'll actually say, they'll like, oh yeah, great, we'll IPv6 peer with you, but oh wait, we need to find out what our exchange address is.
I get asked, probably every 2 days, about every 2 days I get asked for a V6 address. And what is it? And it's really simple, but yeah. They just don't get it. Yeah.
So one comment that I would make is that Aaron, the registry for internet numbering in North America, Aaron makes it really, really easy for internet exchange points to get large IPv6 address ranges. And for me, it was more a matter of how I could rebuild the tables in my provisioning system to actually accommodate the volume or the amount of addresses that I got from Aaron. And when we have customers, or not customers, but participants like Mike, he's a great evangelist for IPv6, and having Mike on the exchange point actually is driving a lot more IPv6 usage, and that's a great thing.
Well, about IPv6 growth, I think we're going to start probably seeing that mostly from the mobile side right away, because a lot of the new headsets, they're going to have V6 enabled on there. And I think that's probably the major push for content folks to start enabling V6, because they just can't get away with adding any more longer. There's going to be a billion handsets or whatever the number is up. That's massive. There's no way V4 will be able to support very close to exhaustion, just a couple of years away before no more can get onto the internet. That's a major issue. But I think there's a lot of retraining that needs to happen, you know, throughout the industry, not only within the telecom industry, but also even in the enterprise IT departments. How many of them can read hexadecimal, you know, addresses? You know, they already have. I mean, for them it's already complex, you know, with having, you know, numerical, you know, data for positions, and then now you expand 8 positions. But wait, it's not numbers; it's hexadecimal, and but you know, so there's that retraining. New tools have to be there. And it's kind of funny because when you allocate IP addresses, there aren't really a good set of tools out there for servers, and yet alone for IT departments, you know, to really allocate and divide it up and, you know, properly. And that's something is what it is.
I can give you a great example. Last NANOG in San Jose, we did a V6 test, and they shut off V4, and everybody went into a panic. I was in the middle of a project, and I'm on the program committee at NANOG, and I'm supposed to like be involved in this. And so a friend of ours put in his wireless card. Anyway, we all got in and got online on V4 because we were all irritated with the V6 thing. So if the North American Network Operators Group folk can't get it going, you can imagine there's ongoing issues here that'll drag on forever. And then maybe Mike will fix it all.
We'll have a tutorial.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, actually, more seriously, we really will. But we're working on a bunch of different things. But anywhere from API for conversion of C source code. How can you convert that to support V6? Actual Unix socket tutorial type stuff to more how to hit your knock to be able to handle how handling V6 in an in an IPv4 knock or something like that.
Yeah.
Basically, really, ping, trace route, dig. How does it reverse, reverse that DNS work, etc. Really, really mundane stuff. But it's the step beyond. After you get past, now I have an IPv6 address now. Right?
So there's a V6 test on the way out the door, guys. You don't get out with us right now.
So get his autograph now, because sometime in the future you're going to be signaling.
So, I have a question about that. Are there any major mobile networks that are actually V6 enabled right now? And another question is, of the V6 mobile networks that are enabled, like the driver for V6, sorry, that's an interest. But the thing is that, when they get to the point where there's V6 enabled on mobile handsets, then that'll affect revenue drivers like apps, because it seems, even though, again, I'm not as familiar with the voice and mobile side of things as I would like to be, the thing is that it seems like one of the biggest drivers for any kind of carrier is, gee, what kind of apps can I run? And that just becomes, if you have an address for every headset, then all of a sudden now there's a lot of interesting new services that might be able to be done. So,
Nokia, who alone has 1 billion customers. So if you look at handsets, that's just Nokia. That's why when Apple says they sold 1 million handsets, they do that in like 7 days or something. So they laugh at Apple as far as their perception of things. We'll see in the end. But they started their own mobile content thing called Ovi. And what they're doing is to be able to enable V6 content and delivery of different video things and different services. They're actually creating their own portals and their own edge computing nodes, and they're deploying it at the Internet Exchange nodes. This is a handset vendor with their own portal to make all that happen. So that now, I don't know about like T-Mobile or any of the other guys. I don't know.
For what it's worth, there's an article in the New York Times, yesterday's Times, on Nokia and how they've been courting Hollywood for about 3-4 years, and they were first getting laughed out of Hollywood, but now Hollywood is beginning to understand. I think they said that, I forget the year, but at some point soon, 25% of movies and entertainment will be consumed on mobile devices. So, kind of interesting stuff. You might want to look at NTT Docomo. I was actually interviewing them, that's why I was late today, about IPv6, and they've got a representative here, and they are really pushing IPv6, and since they have the Docomo network and it's pretty advanced, I would imagine that it's IPv6, although I forgot to ask. And let me just get you the gentleman's name, so that it's Cody Chrisman with NTT America, so he should hopefully be at lunch. So with that, unless there are no more questions, there seems to be peer pressure. There's clapping next door, which means some people are eating and we're not, so we may want to get over to lunch, and we can talk there. Thanks, guys.